You have not seen real chaos until you see what that looks like in the media. There's reporting right now on Nancy Pelosi saying that she'd be up for an open contest, an open convention. And I think that is genuinely a devastating idea. I don't think it's a good idea at all. Pelosi voicing support for an open nomination process if Biden drops out. It quite literally immediately proves what AOC was saying about the Democrats not having like a clear-eyed vision on a swift replacement. Some California House Democrats don't want the process to replace the president on the ticket to seem like a Kamala Harris coronation. And I think that that is a genuinely bad idea. I mean, it's good for content. Like, it's good for me from the content brain, but I think it's very bad overall for the Democratic Party's future prospects in this upcoming election. I think that that spells chaos. It spells disorder. There is no world in which the entire American voter public that is like interested in voting turns around and says like, yeah, I like that the Democratic Party, which are supposed to be the adults in the room, cannot get their ducks in a row, cannot get their shit in order before the goddamn convention. You know, your confidence in Kamala seems wild, to be honest. What Americans want is a new ticket. They want someone they can be happy with, and that will never be Kamala. Kamala is new. Kamala is young. If Kamala has a solid team around her, which she currently doesn't, with good messaging, you absolutely could make a decent job out of Kamala Harris. She's 59. Yeah, guys, we're talking about the president. She's 32 years younger than the current person on the ticket. She is one HasanAbi away. Or not 32, sorry. 22. You're right. 2/3 HasanAbi away. I feel like you're radically overvaluing Kamala and undervaluing the interest of chaos. No. The benefits of having more attention and more eyeballs on an open convention do not outweigh the consequences of having an open convention. So you're wrong. If you guys think this is chaotic, an open convention where like everyone is talking about, oh my God, the Democrats finally got their wishes. They finally got Joe Biden out, but now they can't even have a consensus candidate. That is real chaos. You have not seen real chaos until you see what that looks like in the media. That plays itself out as like total disorder, okay? Full tilt. Right now, there's like a little bit of will he, won't he situation. There's a little bit of interest, okay? But if they were to replace the ticket immediately, swiftly, and then start moving on and be like, this is the new party, this is the new modus operandi, we're going to go in a, we're going to even take it to the next level. We're going to take Joe Biden's vision and legacy, and we're going to take it across the finish line, and we're going to do even more than we did before. And they have solid messaging around it, and there's clarity, okay? And there is confidence. That's very different than like literally in the middle of August, at the end of August, still not having a candidate. Like, I think that that absolutely rips away the final, like the limited amount of confidence that people might have that the Democratic Party is still like, doing the right thing and are the adults in the room. Because you have to remember, the Democratic Party being the adults in the room is the number one benefit that they have over the Republicans. The Republicans are always chaotic. So people look to the Democratic Party as the party that's going to defend democracy. People look to the Republican Party as the party, whether good or bad, as the party that's going to do their willing, okay? Do their bidding and follow through on their agenda, no matter how chaotic and undemocratic that agenda might be. Absolute brain dead takes. Biden dropping out now is literally handing Trump the election. So dumb. Absolutely zero evidence beyond this. Just simply coming in here with a little bit of heat and just dropping that in here. You just came in here with zero analysis and just vibes, okay? Just came in here hot and was like, no, you don't understand. The 82-year-old that everyone understands is brain capacity is deteriorated is actually the best possible person. If they do a quick swap out, it won't work, dude. But thank you. Thank you for your input. Kamala Harris also brings back certain demographics immediately into question. Like, the average American doesn't think as much as you guys do about politics. That's something you have to remember. I love this chatter said, F the commies. And the average Gen Zer even is going to be like, oh yeah, that's a younger person. I'm interested. I'm invested. That's why I say what Kamala Harris does if she is appointed as the nominee, is very important in terms of messaging. Because like when people are locked in and they go, oh, this is a new fresh face, this is a more vibrant candidate, is a more dynamic candidate, then she has to play that part. Then she has to play that role. If she's barred out like she's been goofing around the entire time for the past 4 years, then it's going to be harder. Easier than Joe Biden, but hard nonetheless. Because every single person that is polling for Biden right now, in every single poll that is being conducted, is going to vote for whoever the blue person is. Because their motivations for voting for Biden is not because they love Biden. Their motivations for voting for Biden, as demonstrated by those exact same polls, is that they don't want Donald Trump. That ambition was alive and well in 2020, and it certainly is alive and well in the 2024 election. We know that. We've seen it. Every poll shows that reality. So no matter who is at the top of that ticket, they have all of Biden's votes that they will secure, and plus some more on top of that. This is the calculation that I'm making. The calculation I'm making is that there are no Biden or busters in the same way that there were Bernie or busters, right? Even though those were marginal as well. This is the part where libs say you can't trust the polls. I know. If you believe that, why not have an open convention? Oh, I've told you already. The reason why I don't think an open convention is a smart idea is because then you actually do have some people who are like, well, I'm a loyalist for Newsom. It's kind of like this. Twitch streamers know not to poll which game to play next. And they just play it and they say, hey, if you like it, you watch. If you don't like it, you don't. Why? Because if you poll which game you want to play next, you will lose more people, because the people that really wanted you to play one game will just out of anger not watch the other game. Not everyone, but a lot of people will turn around and go, oh, well, I voted for this game and now you're playing a different game. And you know what? Maybe I would have watched it, but I kind of don't want to watch that game that you're playing now. I'm trying to explain it to Twitch watchers as best as I can. But more importantly than that, an open convention is specifically dangerous because it shows that there is no consensus. Like right now, Biden wants confidence from his party, and his party is not showing him confidence because they're seeing the polls. True, democracy is always a bad idea. No, democracy comes after in the general election in this circumstance, but even then it's not a real democracy. I'm just telling you guys, if you want my analysis on this, and by the way, democracy is always a bad idea. What the fuck are we talking about? In a lot of instances, democracy unironically is a bad idea. Here, I'll give you another Twitch example. Chatters don't know what content is. Chatters all have their own opinion on what is good content, which is precisely the reason why when we go to the chat and we ask chat like what I should do, chatters will be like, oh, don't do this thing. Don't debate Andrew Tate. It's not going to be good content. They're wrong. Sometimes it's good to steer the conversation in a direction that you know is adequate, is good, it's best in order to max out the fun. Okay? If I were to leave it up to chat, half the chat would be like, please watch this 7-hour documentary on the theory behind Maoist third worldism. Is that what you want? Oh, Saturday fun day. Time to watch a 3-hour documentary. Sometimes it's good to limit the options, okay? And then go, what do you want? Anyway, having said that, the Democrats already did that in the primaries. They stopped the primary process from actually occurring by literally making sure that no one else in the Democratic Party that had any viability ran against Joe Biden, because they didn't want Joe Biden to go out and have to campaign in the primaries. They thought that he'd be weaker as a consequence of that. They thought that people would hear him and go, oh shit, he's old. That's precisely the reason why they already shut down the democracy part. As vice president, I see Joe Biden when the cameras are on and when the cameras are off, in the Oval Office, in the Situation Room, and on the campaign trail. Joe Biden is a leader who fights for the American people. Open convention is the best to restore trust in the sections of the voter base like Hispanics, young people, industrial belt. None of these people are coming out because, wow, she's younger than Joe Biden. She's been thrown into a defeat with no plan. No, the reason why I think Kamala Harris is like the swift replacement ticket is because it buys time to re-triangulate the messaging around her. Because, again, time is of the essence in this circumstance. Every moment is going to count, which is why Biden should have dropped out far before this moment. I'm not saying Kamala's chances are an absolute lock. I'm simply stating that Kamala's chances are better than Biden's. And given that this is a close contest right now, that's good enough and with only upsides. Having said that, however, if Kamala Harris is the swift replacement and then she sucks, then obviously that equation changes. Open convention, on the other hand, will create a panic environment, will show that the Democrats do not have a good lineage, like a good lineup, a good succession protocol. You will have people with their own dogs in the fight. You will have people that will, at a moment when, the Democratic Party needs to be united, you will have people fighting against one another openly. The media will love the drama. Cenk disagrees with you on this. I know. I think he'll come around to this. Cenk has been right about the obvious need to replace Joe Biden because he's so old. Just like I was right on that front. Cenk and I have a disagreement on the open primaries. I think not open primaries, open convention. We have a difference in opinion on that front, but it doesn't matter. I'm telling you what my position is on the matter. The Democratic Party's number one benefit over the Republican Party right now is that they're supposed to be the adults in the room. I don't think Kamala Harris is the best possible replacement. You guys know who I think is a better replacement than Kamala Harris. I've said Gretchen Whitmer. I think J.B. Pritzker would be fine. I think there are better Democrats out there. They have proven track records. They're very popular, and they could captivate the Rust Belt. Having said that, however, Kamala Harris already being on the ticket plays a major role in this situation because it's a way to basically say, well, Joe Biden, this is the person that you chose to replace you. This is the person that you said would be great as president. That's why you made her your vice president. It's a way to also save the Democratic Party's attitude because then you can just simply say, no, you don't understand. Joe Biden always knew that Kamala Harris would be a phenomenal president, and that's why he chose her as his VP. This is a way to continue the legacy of Joe Biden and the legacy of the past 4 years and the policies of the past 4 years. Now, obviously, you and I might not agree with that narrative. What legacy? Who gives a shit? Joe Biden. But that makes a coherent replacement narrative that you can set, that you can campaign on. Random person coming in at the last second, on the other hand, makes it seem like maybe Joe Biden's legacy is dog shit. Why am I voting for the Democrats again then? Because the past 4 years, they just sucked then, I guess. They don't even have any confidence in their own administration. Why the should I have confidence in them? Question to you, awesome person. What's more important to Biden, the Democratic Party's wins or to protect his ego? Right now, it's to protect his ego. The American people want someone who's not Donald Trump who can speak. Kamala Harris is not Donald Trump, and she can speak. Yeah, Kamala is also more popular than Joe Biden, which is not saying much because Biden is underwater. Kamala's disapproval is at 50%, approvals at 38.6. Biden's disapproval is at 56%, approvals at 38.5. Do I really think Harris can beat Trump? I think, depending on how this campaign restructures itself and how it messages going forward, yes. Yes, I do. There are so many factors at play. Who her vice presidential pick is, because people will care about that this time around, perhaps a little bit more than they normally would, because this is a unique predicament.